Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and President Donald Trump is marking his first 100 days with a massive executive order that is almost definitely going to make its way to the Supreme Court. Before we get started, guys, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out. So, President Trump promised this on the campaign trail. You know, I think Trump is the first president in my lifetime that I can remember that actually gets excoriated by the media and by his enemies for doing what he said he was going to do. He gets excoriated for not lying, for actually completing his promises. And this one's got constitutional, it's going to be a problem. He is signing an executive order to direct Pete Hegseth and Pam Bondi to find out how the United States military can be used in law enforcement legally. That is a tall task. I'm not a constitutional scholar, but my understanding of what's in the Constitution is that the military cannot be used for law enforcement within the United States. That is my understanding. Again, I welcome constitutional scholars to correct me on that if I'm reading something incorrectly. I've studied this pretty much my whole adult life, but again, I'm not Alan Dershowitz. You know what I mean? I'm not Jonathan Turley. So there are people out there that can absolutely, assist me in knowing more about this. But I understand the drive to do it. You want to bring down crime? I mean, that's one way to do it. I understand the desire. I just, I'm torn on the constitutionality of it. I don't know. I just don't know. But I can tell you here as I sit here, I don't believe it's constitutional. I believe the Supreme Court will strike it down. That's what I think will happen. And that's not me telling you I want that to happen. That's just me telling you what I think. That's what I'm supposed to do. So you can get mad at me if you like, but I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen. But he's looking to find ways to do it legally. Do they exist? I don't know. But he didn't just order it, and that's the important part. He ordered it. He ordered them to look into it. The media is going to make a bigger deal about this than it is. They may come back to him and say, there's no way to do it, sir. That's all he ordered. He didn't order the military to start enforcing the law. So I want you to watch this video and let me know what you think in the comments.
Breaking tonight, President Trump and the White House are trying to take attention away from the economy with several immigration orders, along with lawn ornaments showing mugshots. But there was something significant that that was in one of those executive orders that very few people clued in on, and that could open up a Pandora's box potentially. Donald Trump has ordered his Attorney General and Defense Secretary to figure out how the U.S. military can be used to fight domestic crime. Quote, within 90 days of this order, the Secretary of Defense, in coordination with the Attorney General, shall determine how military and national security assets, training, non-lethal capabilities, and personnel can most effectively be utilized to prevent crime. Now, using troops to help law enforcement typically requires an emergency declaration, but the power to make that declaration may be an open-ended question, as are many questions that are being raised today, Dave, by this administration. But I have to say, this is another thing that Trump kind of promised. Like, he said he wanted to use the military domestically, and a lot of people told me that he wasn't serious about it, but it sounds like he is.
Yeah. If you want to own the libs, militarize the police, because this is one of their slogans, demilitarize the police. This is something that he wants to have this fight on. This is his terrain, to be able to say we're going to make America safe again, we're going to back the blue. Even if it's not constitutional, this is the fight he wants to have. It sure beats having to fight about tariffs or the sinking stock market.
I also wonder what he thinks voters are going to say.
National Guard,
about
everybody's
that.
used to the National Guard, same kind of mandate. So this is an extension of that mandate. I think it'll be challenged constitutionally, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. This is what the amazing thing about all of these things is that's what he said during the election. He's just delivering on what he said, and a lot of people don't like it now that it's actually happening. And it'll be challenged constitutionally. Everything, the Supreme Court is busy.
Yeah,
it's busy.
That's the understatement
as all
of the
this
year.
gets pushed up. But remember, at least 52% of the population wanted this, and they voted for it.
Yeah, but I think we sat at these tables hours upon hours and debated.
And it's not
these
52%, by the way, but just to be clear.